Happy Thursday. Welcome back to another watch list video. Going to try and keep this super short. Tomorrow's Friday. I hope you all have been having a great week. I've had a really nice last month, so I'm going to try to be as patient as I possibly can into tomorrow. I did some buying today on the quantum side with your QBTS is what I bought, Rigetti, and then I added to some INFQ. I also attempted some DOCN. Didn't really like the cushion I had, so I let it go, but it's on the list and I think it looks great. I tried some Palantir short right at this resistance gap, which I think I deleted the gap, so you can't see it now. But coming right up into the open of the earnings gap, I tried some short as like a hedge. Worked for about 30 minutes and then it just pushed right through a new high day, so I got rid of it for a 1% loss. But I think that's about everything I tried today. I got rid of LITE today. Speaking of that, the optics were extremely weak today. Don't think it's completely over for them, but I mean, just nasty days today. And that whole space, whether it's your GLW, your AAOI, your light, and I'm probably missing more, but I can't think of them. But I do still own a COHR from, I think it was like last Friday. It's still above that low, so holding it. This one definitely has not gotten hit as hard as the other photonic names. So continue to hold this name. But I mean, yeah, the whole group got hit pretty hard. I like COHRs weekly, so whatever. Jumping into my list, AVGO right off the bat, biggest best group in the market, semiconductors. Nice flat base. It's got earnings on Wednesday, so we'll keep an eye on that. But I think just a break over today's high slash through this little flat base would be super interesting. You've been building higher lows right into it, so just watching this as a flat base breakout through today's highs. BE, a name I own. I bought this on the pullback yesterday. Continue to hold my ads, but I am getting ready to cut those ads if it doesn't work. But I would just like this name pushed right out of its flat base, or this flat pivot it built from Monday, May 4th, like a few days after its earnings gap up. But either way, you get the big earnings gap up. It's consolidating in a range, 4 days of pretty low volume. Pull back into the 20-day. Can it push out of it? It would be super interesting. Inside week, think it looks great. Leading stock. It's been a leading stock. It's been a little bit weak the last few days while, you look at the overall market still just trending higher, super powerful, super interesting. But BE, been a monster. FCell looks completely fine. Can't remember the rest of the names of that group, but yeah, BE I think looks great. Continue to watch this name for any type of entry or whatever. I own it and I've already added to it, so I'd like to add to it. I'd like to just watch it. I don't think I'd add to this one, but I just continue to watch it. It's one of the biggest positions in my portfolio, so continue to watch. BW, this name still to me looks fine. You're super tight above the pivot still. You kind of come up into that little, I guess you could say Tuesday's high, which was rejected on Wednesday and then rejected again today, but you're still tight in this range. If it breaks below, it'll be bad below this line and good above it. So for now, I would just like to see a push above Tuesday's high. It's been a pretty big line. If you flip like an hourly chart, looks like shit, but you keep coming up into this line every single time and rejecting it, getting super tight under it. Can we push out? Flip to a weekly, practically a double inside week. Looks fine. Just needs to get going, but I think this name looks great. DOCN, one of my favorite names on my list. Sorry if there's so much on my chart, but you get the big earnings gap up, consolidates, 50-day catches up. It's been finally digesting, very possibly a higher low built today with the inside day. It could have kept the position I had on today, but I bought it pretty much through the high volume close the first part of the day, so seeing it close below that, I was just like, yeah, no thank you. I already have enough positions open, so there's no need to hold something red. A name I did actually forgot that I bought today was Nvidia, and I did hold this one with slight green, so which is fine, but it was all right. In the first 5 minutes of the day, I was getting long this name, and the reason was because obviously it was on yesterday's watch list. But if you go to a weekly chart here, big weekly pivot, right? We undercut it yesterday and tried to rally back through it. So I was just looking for a push above Wednesday or yesterday's high. But we get the gap down and almost like an OEL candle today. And the first 5 minutes a day, it was pushing right through that weekly pivot. So I got long right at the open for overall. Looks like it could be a higher low here. We'll definitely see. My stop is today's lows, but I will definitely see how we act. I would just like a push right back through the 20-day, kind of like we did here. So definitely something to keep an eye on. But yeah, DOCN, one of my favorite looking setups. I think this name looks great. You flip to a weekly chart, 3 weeks tight, inside week, looks great. And a chance for a higher low right off that 20-day. For those that got positioned right off the 20-day, great job. Me personally, like, I think that if this name get going, it can even, when this name gets going from this sideways it's built, I think it can go way higher. So I don't need to get the perfect entry, but I will be watching this one tomorrow on like a little mini washout in the morning and then a push above VWAP, or just over today's high would be super interesting to just break us out of this range. I'm also watching the high volume close. What can happen there? If not, and we're super weak in the morning, we break these lows. I'll watch for an undercut and rally at this prior low, and if not, then I'll watch for the prior all-time high as an area. There's lots of areas of support to watch in this name. It's been a big leading stock. It is just over 5 ATRs from its 50, so some people can call that extended. I would say that the setup looks great right now, so I'm just going to continue to keep an eye on it. FLNC, this name, one of your energy names, I'm pretty sure this is in that similar group to BE. Super tight day today. Again, you flip to a weekly chart, big move up, highest volume ever. A super nice wick last week, which makes this week a higher low and a nice inside week. So getting super tight. I really like the candle today. I didn't mind it. I did not buy this one today, but I've just been paying attention to it. Still watching pretty much today's high / Wednesday's high. Again, if I flip to an hourly chart, see how it's getting super tight under that level. So I just need to push above that, and I would be super interested in maybe trying some of this. I really liked the highest volume gap up. It's definitely been a name that looks like it can continue to build higher lows. And could this be that higher low? So definitely interesting. One to definitely keep an eye. I think Circle was another one where it's like a higher low, looks so awesome. I don't know why this isn't on my list. Probably because Bitcoin has been acting like complete shit. Definitely looks like this could be some sort of capitulation coming in here soon, but it's just like where where is it going to bounce off of? I don't see any big levels for this thing to really come into or bounce off of. But I didn't mind this candle today. It is what it is. I'm not just going to watch every single daily candle on this thing until it actually starts getting back above the 50 and acting better. But I have an alert marked at the lows from Saturday, May 23rd. Just pushing back through that. There's like a little mini undercut and rally would be interesting. I think, Circle's acting so well. And you mark the support gap. The way it comes in and undercuts and rallies is just absolutely beautiful. You don't need to get a perfect average on this name in the 95, 96, 97. You just need to wait for buying to step into this name at a tight risk spot. Like if you're buying this thing as the undercut and rally, you're risking 3% on a stock that moves, 8% per day. I stared at this and watched it happen. I didn't take it because Bitcoin's been so weak. The underlying is very important to me. So we'll see how this one can act, but I don't think it's over yet. I think it could very possibly just be getting started. Super nice weekly chart. And it's got a nice pivot above its head. So maybe to build out the right side of the base would be interesting. I am watching it over today's high, so we will have to see. HIMX, this goes alongside AVGO as far as a semiconductor, building a high tight flag. I think this name looks really good. You put in an inside day today. Could this be a higher low? We'll have to see. I'm watching it above today's high, but either way, this is another one where it's like it's over 8 ATRs from its 50 day. It's extended, but it is offering some sort of a little setup. Weekly chart, don't see too much. Probably needs more sideways. This also reminds me of even Wolf. Same thing where it's a semiconductor. Yes, this one's been going sideways a little bit more, and it's not as extended. It's just over 6 ATRs from the 50. Super nice candle today. Another inside day. Could this be a higher low setup? To me, it really looks like it. You flip to a weekly chart, non-existent, because my moving averages won't show it. But I think this name looks great. And I also own MXL right now, so you could even throw this on the list too. I think this is also looking like a higher low setup, which I own from Wednesday. So we'll see how this one can act. I really just want to see it push above Wednesday's high, and then just a break out of the range would be super interesting. But this goes alongside obviously HIMX as well as Wolf, higher low setups inside these little high tight flags. InnoData, this is another one where I'm considering this a high tight flag. Super nice higher low built. I did own this name and I got rid of it because it was just so weak. It was the weakest name in my portfolio. It gave back a pretty nice gain. Didn't want the position to go red, so I just let it go. That close yesterday was so ugly. I was hoping maybe an inside day today, but I mean this thing just did the craziest thing, and it just made 120% ATR move, maybe more, from its regular average true range. And it did build a higher low. So an inside day tomorrow will be super interesting. I'll watch this name for some sort of washout and then just a break out of the range. You flip to a weekly chart, double inside week. Looks super nice. Name's been super strong since that big highest volume ever gap up. So continuing to keep an eye on it is definitely something I want to do. It was super strong today while the market was strong. So it looks great. Intel finally starting to build out. Yes, it's extended. It's extremely extended, right? It's still over 7 ATRs from its 50 day. But I want to continue. Like this is the first, this is your first sideways out of the base or out of like your just massive move up, right? This is the very first time it's finally going sideways. That pullback to the 20 was great, but now, we get a bounce and we're starting to finally go sideways. So I want to continue to keep an eye on this name. It's been a monster, biggest leader in the market behind like your AMD, Dell, ARM, whatever. But either way, it's in the biggest group, best group, strongest group. So continuing to keep an eye on this would be great. Even you get your original low from the first pullback. Can we build a higher low maybe in this area, or is this going to be the higher low? Who knows? Definitely something I just want to continue to keep an eye on as it looks great. Microsoft, super big stage 1 base being built. Look at a weekly chart, nice cup, almost with the handle here on the weekly. Don't think it looks too bad, but either way, super big day today. You also had Oracle with a really nice day today. And then IGV is something I owned from, I think about, I don't know my exact average, but it's somewhere down here. I bought the undercut and rally, and on every pullback I was adding to this name. It was very obvious that rotation was going to come into IGV, but I guess I could say that now in hindsight when I do own it. But continue to keep an eye on these names, right? We've seen CrowdStrike build a stage 1 base and break out. So Microsoft, very clear cup with handle almost. I just want to see it get back above the 200 day for sure, but an inside day tomorrow, or whatever, or just a few days of pullback here to push out of the base would be interesting. But if this thing does just want to go out of this little pivot, which marking it from that original pivot, I would be super interested in seeing the way this one acts. But who knows? I just overall think it's a nice looking base. ONDS. The drone names are absolute monsters, right? Whether that's RCAT, ONDS, AVEX. I know I'm missing more. UMAC, these are all on my list. The reason being super big volume today, whether it was the highest volume in a year or highest volume ever, which for ONDS it was. I'm watching the high volume close. I've been watching this name every day since the highest volume ever gap up. And the action here was horrible, right? It finally started to pick up in volume and pick up in price for 2 days, and then it just has the big gap up with the rest of the group. So continue to watch this name. Maybe a pullback into the base would be interesting. I'll definitely watch that, but I would say a move over the high volume close from today. I would just like to keep an eye on it, see how it acts. Look at a weekly chart; it's finally bursting out the base, so we will have to see. Monthly chart looks absolutely phenomenal, which is closing after tomorrow's close, so continue to keep an eye on that. Speaking of that same drones theme, you look at RCAT, finally back. This is another one I've been watching. Nice to see it back above the 200. Big volume, highest volume in a year. Watching the high volume close. This one is technically still inside its base pretty much. It's very choppy looking at like a weekly chart, but I mean, nice as well. But some sideways would be great, but I will watch the high volume close, see how it acts around that level. UMAC, same thing, but UMAC I love even better because this thing just breaks. I mean, it's the same thing, but this thing breaks into a new all-time high. I don't think ONDS is. Yeah, no, ONDS not. UMAC breaks new all-time high. Such a bullish day. Like, oh my, like I can't even explain it, but just this name looks phenomenal, and you just get such a big gap up. And I've been watching. This is another one. I've been watching this whole theme for a while, but I just didn't really like him off here. Yeah, you could have bought it off the 200. Yeah, you could have bought it breaking out this little flat base it built, but just continue to keep an eye on these names. I think will be interesting, whether it pulled back to the base or just gets tight here, builds a new nice flag, would be interesting, but I will watch the high volume close on something like this. Oscar, nice pullback to the 20. This name's been absolute monstrous. I've been waiting for some sideways. We're finally starting to get it. You get your first pullback to the 20, super tight for like 4 or 5 days. Definitely interesting. Another like name is like HUM, super tight. So don't think this one looks too bad. The whole group's kind of setting up. You look at something like UNH. You get a pullback to the 20, lose it, get back above it. And another one where it's like big move up, starting to build sideways is what it is. ELV is another one, super nice sideways it's being built. And then I think HNGE Hinge, I think this is similar healthcare type of name. I don't know, but either way, nice flat base it's building. I think Oscar looks really good. Moves 5% plus per day. Trades 160 million a day, and it's over $1 billion in market cap. So it's interesting. Look at a weekly chart, kind of a 2-week low volume chart. So I don't think it looks bad. It looks nice. It looks like it's consolidating in a nice way. Maybe bounces up here, continues to go sideways, whatever, builds a new base or whatever, but I think it looks fine. RCAT talked about SEDGs. See, I will say a lot of these names on my list are going to be hard to buy because the setups to buy these names were weeks ago, if not days ago. So just continue to keep an eye. That's why I kind of talk about being extra patient right now. Because I own a lot of positions right now, and I don't want to get too exposed, given the fact that like the Nasdaq's all the way up here, but it's just in a roaring bull. So I could easily see this continue higher. You got SMH putting in an inside day. So is this thing just gonna rocket higher tomorrow? Most likely. But you know, say these things do break out for a day and then come back because they're extended. So it's like, I think the risk reward was better earlier on a lot of these names. I'm just going to continue to watch these ones. I will say names like DOCN I really like, but the reason I put a Sedge on here is because every other name in this group looks phenomenal. FSLR, massive 10% day for a name that moves 4% per day. You know, Tan looks phenomenal. This thing is just in a monster trend. This is something I traded at the very beginning of the year, which was an awesome setup here for a higher low, and I actually used that via NXT. Which was one of my best trades at the very beginning of the year. Nice flat base, breaks out of it, and made a nice run, gapped him on earnings, whatever. This name builds a big base now, and then you get a gap up in the after hours on some news acquiring a different company, I think. But either way, right? The group is offering setups, and they look great. I think SEDG, super tight. 2 days, 2 inside days, looks super bullish. I think this setup was definitely viable. Lower, didn't get it, but something I'm just going to continue to watch. Snow. Big gap up on earnings. Nice earnings beat. I didn't look too much into it, but it was nice. Wasn't too big a volume, not anything highest volume in a year or ever, but super nice gap up in volume. It is over 10 ATRs from the 50. It's extended, but another one where it's like you get your breakout of almost like a base. If you flip to like a monthly, kind of like a stage 1 base, came out of and then failed, and then we're back out of it. Is it going to build a setup here? Very possible. It's back above the 200. Super big gap. So I will watch the high volume close. But just something that I just want to keep an eye on. Twilio, I did buy this name off the high volume close on Tuesday, acted like shit Wednesday, cut it, and then you get another like kind of like a gap up and then an inside day. So is it trying to build a higher low here and shake everybody out and then go? Definitely looks like it could be. So it's something I want to keep an eye on. I flip to a weekly chart, looks completely fine. Absolutely no volume on this pullback after a really big move up. Finally really consolidating right above the high volume close, letting the 50-day catch up. It's only 4 ATRs from the 50. I wouldn't consider this really extended, so a push above today's high would be super interesting. And this obviously goes alongside with your DOCN as far as the technology type group. Wolf we talked about, and MXL we talked about alongside UMAC. So yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts. There are a few names that look interesting. I think like HWM looks fine, getting super tight right above the 20. Like you got inside days on so many big names like Rocket Lab and all these other ones. Looks like they're probably just going to keep continuing higher or failing up here and just building new bases. This doesn't mean I buy them because there's inside days up here, right? They're too extended. The initial buy area was definitely lower. You got something like MSOS with a big move today. That was super interesting. I remember I saw my alert go off this morning. Didn't take it obviously because I don't really have any interest in trading this, but it is cool to see this thing with such a big update. I think RDW is getting a little too ahead of itself. So maybe a high tight flag be built on this one, but you got yourself coming right into a prior high, possibly watching for a DTSS. Don't really want to take shorts in this market. I'd rather just sit on my hands and do nothing and wait for like, if things like this actually act shortable, it would be interesting. I will say parabolic shorts, it doesn't matter what's going on in the market for a parabolic short, but yeah, this name's over 16 ATRs for its 50-day. You look at like something like a monthly chart just to see the move it's made in a month. It's pretty massive. So something to keep an eye on. You know, can it get another gap up day or another gap up day or two? Would definitely be interested to short this one as a parabolic short, but not yet. And we will have to see. REM, or sorry, not REM. I forget the ticker I wrote down. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. Don't want to leave this video too long, but I will catch you guys in the next one. I appreciate you all for watching. Peace.